You know motherfuckers that I hate Megumi for one of the best fights in the series to just go under the radar just because people don't like the character. Megumi versus Reggie is one of the best fights in the Culling games, if not one of the best fights in the series. And it is hilarious how underrated this fight is. Honestly, moves that Megumi was pulling in this fight, bro, it makes you remember why he was so loved before he became potential man. This fight picks up right after Higuruma and Yuji get done with their also generational fight, but for different reasons. Huh? Yeah, that's enough. Your Shikigami is sufficient. I can see you're strong. Otherwise, I'd just kill you. You should join us. How much do you know about the Culling game? What the fuck are you talking about, dude? Reggie and Megumi's first interaction / conversation is just Reggie giving Megumi a pretty substantial info dump about Kenjaku's plans and what he's actually up to. Reggie is suspecting Kenjaku is about to do some fuck shit, and he asked Megumi to team up with him because he can see that he is strong. Megumi likes this idea, and he proposes the counteroffer: give me all of your points, and I'll consider joining you. Unfortunately, Reggie did not like this counteroffer, and he immediately tells his old-ass homie to sneak Megumi. Megumi hits that nigga with a spin move and pulls up from out of the shadows under this nigga. Then while the wolf is attacking Reggie, he proceeds to put this guy in a wrestling hold and throw his ass over the balcony. And he is not done there. No, he is not finished yet, because as this guy is falling, Megumi decides to send Nue at him for good measure, slamming him harder downward into the ground. Megumi was trying to kill this motherfucker from the start of the fight. Oh, I get it. You were holding back. You want our points, so you can't kill us. But
if you don't fight to kill, you'll wind up dead.
At that moment, a normal everyday occurrence of an eyeball dropping from the sky happens. Megumi turns, and he is shocked to see that the eyeball explodes. It seems to be a 4-on-1 fight. Well, a 3-on-2 fight, because they are blowing this bitch up with no care in the world. Megumi had talked about this earlier. He remarked, what are you guys even doing with her if you're looking for just strong people? And they mentioned some shit about using her because she's a woman. People let their guard down around women. And he's like, Megumi, that was probably one of the things that rang off his alarm bell. He felt like they were just gonna murk her and take her points after they were done using her for whatever schemes they had planned. And he was correct, because they were just ready to blow this hoe up. In the chaos, old girl tries to attack Megumi. Megumi weaves that shit, grabs her by her ponytail, and throws her to the ground. He then asked these guys, do you care about her? You know they do not care about her. Megumi, after realizing she's a monkey see, monkey do ass motherfucker, he decides that he don't really want to fuck with her at all, and he hates her and calls her scum of the earth. Megumi definitely asks his kids, if your friend jumped off a bridge, are you gonna jump off a bridge too? And he will be very pissed at the wrong answer. But old nigga that Megumi threw off the balcony earlier and combo striked with Nue comes back. It says he took him a long time to climb back up here, and he's pretty upset. Another moment that I want to note right here. Megumi assesses the situation and says, 4v1, this will be rough. He ain't just saying I gotta run away. He ain't saying this some bullshit. He ain't, bro, Megumi standing 10 toes. Megumi slanderers are officially the same motherfuckers that was slandering Deborah, saying that he was a fraud. These the same motherfuckers. Also, low-key, shorty kind of fine in the anime. I'm like, hold on, sexy kid, I can't put my manners. Megumi gets notified that a new rule has been added, and that's exactly what he needed to get fired up. He starts to go back in on this motherfucker that he just previously threw off a roof, or threw off the side of a building. But tomato, 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 tomato. Skipping forward a little bit, because this guy doesn't really matter. Megumi actually murks this nigga right after knocking his ass off the side of the building once again. Such vitriol, such hate. After oil farming in front of that guy's body, Megumi watches as Reggie and his buddy float on in, and he starts to try and figure out what he's going to do about this whole situation. He peeps that fine shit has ran away, and he's about to get jumped by Reggie and body part exploding man when Takaba comes in to save the day, essentially giving Megumi the opportunity to throw the ones with Reggie and fight a fair fight. No holding back. I can fight earnestly. No holding back. The real fight begins. Reggie remarks, so you even have something like that? To Megumi summoning the Max Elephant. Megumi sprays water at Reggie using Max Elephant, trying to obscure his vision and get a surprise attack on him from on top with the rabbits. Reggie is quick on his feet, so he uses curse technique to summon a net and throws it towards Megumi to catch him in his fall. Megumi lets the rabbits be caught up in the net instead, and he escapes his counterattack. This is where we get our first explanation on Reggie's technique. Reggie's curse technique is called contract object reproduction. Essentially, he uses it in the form of a receipt as the contract, and anything that is on this receipt, he can then reproduce into reality using cursed energy. It's a lot less open-ended than I'm making that sound, but he can do things like reproduce the effects of certain things that are on the receipt, such as when he uses the receipt for 3 days and 3 nights in the Starry Inn, and he gets an entire fucking refreshment from like a spa and shit and feels fully rested. I like it. It's kind of like a soft RCT, not really a hard heal yourself kind of thing, but you know what I mean. Reggie picks up on the fact that Megumi is probably worn out from the previous battles that he just had, and Megumi kind of agrees, but for different reasons than Reggie says. Essentially using the Max Elephant in the way that he did tired him out a little bit. So Megumi decides the best course of action is to just fucking run away. As Megumi uses Nue to fly away, and Reggie summons a fucking little scooter to chase after him. He brings Reggie to a gymnasium. Megumi is clearly plotting something. Reggie doesn't want to give him the chance to plot something, so he ambushes the ambusher, and he sends 2 trucks flying through the fucking building instantly. In the chaos of the trucks bursting through the fucking building, Reggie uses this opportunity to go hand to hand with Megumi and catch him by surprise. and he's using a fucking radish, which I'm sure comes to the surprise of everyone, until a fucking knife burst out. Then, you know, no one's surprised. This is Jujutsu Kaisen. We then find out another layer of Reggie's technique. Objects produced by his curse technique are considered shikigami, and he has a certain level of control over them. He can grant them simple orders, like we just saw with the knife/radish fucking flying. Just when Reggie thinks he's got him, just when Megumi thinks he's out, they pull him back in. Megumi opens his fucking domain expansion on that bitch ass nigga. Reggie is obviously shocked because we know a motherfucker who can open a domain expansion is absolutely next level when it comes to Jujutsu sorcery. And Megumi starts his domain expansion by explaining barrier techniques are complicated. He basically explains to us that he's using the gymnasium to support his incomplete domain and give it a barrier of sorts. Reggie ass goes on guard immediately, as he should, and he uses the first instance, I believe, we see of Hollow Wicker Basket, the domain defense technique. It is explained to us that Hollow Wicker Basket is a prototype of the new Shadow Style. Shout out the new Shadow Style technique. And once again, Reggie thinks he's got him by the balls. And then he gets attacked from below. He has no idea at this point that Megumi's domain expansion is incomplete. Thus, he doesn't have a sure hit technique. Not a sure hit technique, but thus he doesn't have a sure hit. You know what the fuck I meant. Don't make me correct myself. Chimera Shadow Garden in its incomplete form acts more like an extension of Megumi's technique, increasing his capacity and his potential to 100%. This whole shit obviously takes Reggie completely by surprise. He ain't never seen no shit like this. Megumi to go. Megumi uses this opportunity to give this nigga a reintroduction to Jujutsu Kaisen jumpings. Bitch, you tried to jump me earlier in this fight. You thought you were gonna get the ones. Eat these shadow fists, nigga. Now, as I said before, Reggie ain't no slouch, and he pretty quickly figures out what's going on. He realizes that Megumi doesn't really have a sure hit domain, but what is being produced from the domain is fucking very impressive. So impressive that he's just straight up calling Max Elephant the win con in this situation. But I'm not gonna let that happen. That's not how I do things. Too slow. Reggie rips off a bunch of receipts and he tosses them out across the area. He uses the receipts to summon a bunch of fucking cars. Reggie figures that Megumi has to carry the weight of whatever goes into his shadows. He figures this out because he is being pulled into them if he does not reinforce his feet with cursed energy. He realizes that anything under him is being pulled into the shadows. So it makes him wonder, how is Megumi running out of weapons? Or why does he have one singular weapon? So he figures either Megumi has a very low capacity and he has to make room for that to store things inside of it, or he has to take on the weight of everything that goes inside of the shadows. And we see this works very fucking well. Megumi is carrying the weight of 3 fucking cars inside of his shadows. And this is a problem. Reggie now has his win con. All he needs to do is keep adding weight, and Megumi pretty much is fucked here. GG's, no re. But of course, Megumi the GOAT ain't having this. I think you're missing it. Even if it's incomplete, a domain is a domain. There's shadow above you too. Kuma collapse first. Reggie! Megumi sends the fucking Max Elephant crashing down on top of Reggie. And you know, I think an elephant weighs a lot, so that probably sucked. We then get a Gege Akutami explanation that Megumi is essentially under 40 Gs of force in this moment. And in order to stop this from just fucking flat out killing him, Megumi reinforced his entire body with cursed energy, specifically his lower half, and he lowered his center of gravity. Lowered his center of mass, but you know what I mean, 2.4 tons was used as the number to get to 40 Gs of force on Megumi. A fucking elephant weighs 3. And due to the enhancements of Megumi's domain, Max Elephant is mimicking the weight of an adult elephant. Holy shit. Reggie fractured his fucking fibula holding that weight. Dear God. The win cons are laid out at this point in the fight. Either of them could be crushed to death. Reggie is very fucking upset that he doesn't have those trucks from earlier because he definitely would have won. And he also got sprayed with a bit of water, which is actually pretty bad because it makes his curse technique worse by spraying the fucking receipts that he has on his person. But luckily for Reggie, his trump card is safe. He starts going into his mind trying to figure out how to get out of this fucking situation. Then he starts panicking about what is inside the shadows and what happens if he gets sucked in there. I would too. So instead of taking the gamble of going in the shadows and using his trump card and getting the 100% guaranteed win, he is not willing to risk it, and he pulls out his trump card before he goes in. But he doesn't make it in time, unfortunately. Ooh, so sad, so sad. He gets pulled in, and he was correct to be scared about what happens inside of there because he's basically fucking drowning. Just when Megumi decides that he needs to make sure that this guy's fucking dead before he ends his domain, Reggie comes shooting back out of the fucking shadows water stuff. He tells Megumi that the objects that he summons disappear after he gives them commands and they perform them. He didn't give any commands to the cars that were inside of Megumi's shadows. Checkmate, nigga, eat this house! In that moment, Reggie reveals his trump card and drops a house on Megumi's forehead, or at least he tries to. He's 100% certain that he's won this fight at this point, even proclaiming before this, "You're strong, but I'm stronger." Just when that happens, he fucking opens his eyes and he's in some water. Confused, Megumi is choking this motherfucker out under the water, trying to get rid of this nigga right now. After panicking and releasing his curse technique, Reggie realizes that they were in a gymnasium and under them was a pool. The house fucking crashed through the floor and knocked them into the pool below. Megumi had dismissed his domain and went into the shadows below. So instead of slamming into that nigga's forehead, the house slammed into the gymnasium floor and sent them into the water. We then get the full extent of Reggie's curse technique, learning that even if the receipts are wet, he could still technically use it, but he can no longer meet the condition of burning the fucking receipt after he's done using it. So his curse technique is essentially useless right now. Reggie, smartass, figures out that Megumi, using his domain, can no longer use his curse technique either. He can't use a Shikigami. This fight is finna be straight hands to determine the victor. Them boys do indeed get straight to it. They ducking and dodging and kicking and sliding and slicing and dipping and dapping and flipping and flapping. And next thing you know, Reggie lost the entire side of his head, including his shoulder and his neck. And we find out that from the beginning of the fight, those fucking weak-ass knives weren't enough to disable his divine dogs. Megumi still had them motherfuckers out there lurking to finally hit Reggie with his fucking trump card. This is where we get the infamous line where Reggie says, I guess when it all comes down to it, a sorcerer is just a fucking con man. How could you have done this? No. Were also a part of Reggie's dying words. Reggie put up a commendable performance, but he unfortunately came up against Potential Man himself. But in this moment, he was actually kind of realizing his potential, which is highly unfortunate for Reggie. His final words just have him explaining that he wasn't really even in the Culling Games for a real special reason. He just thought it'd be pretty cool to see it. So that's what he's here to fucking see. He's an incarnated sorcerer. He then leaves Megumi with the most hater fucking words ever, telling him to let fate fuck with him, be a clown, and die. Reggie's star went out like he came in, as the biggest fucking hater of all time. Holy shit. He does give Megumi his points as a consolation prize, considering it his final good act before he passes away. But I think Reggie deserves some aura points. Not only did he have a really cool fucking curse technique, he was also no slouch when it came to hand-to-hand combat, was never afraid to throw them hands. And his battle IQ was pretty fucking high up there. I think Reggie is a very underrated character. I can't wait to see this shit in the anime, bro. This is gonna be crazy. And we don't got much more time for it to be animated since I'm fucking uploading this video. It might already be out. But yeah, Megumi slander needs to end today. It is all incredibly false. It is a psyop. Megumi is the GOAT. His battle IQ off the charts. Battle IQ 10 billion. Megumi stops up. Purchase while you can. Purchase while you can. There's shadows above you too, bitch ass nigga.